Man, welcome back. Hope y'all doing all right. Hope y'all saw the fights this weekend. You know, a lot of good ones, man. It's a great weekend. First of all, make sure you subscribe. So what we're gonna get into, basically, Burlanga fought, really didn't get a lot of publicity because you had the UFC fights going on. I'm not even gonna talk about the UFC because we already saw the highlights. We know what happened, you know what I mean? But this Burlanga fight, you gotta take a look at it, man. It showed us something that people was questioning. And one thing that people were wondering about is, so everybody wants to know what's gonna happen when Burlanga can't get rid of you in the first round. It didn't happen this time. It did not happen. The streak is over with. First round knockouts, that streak ended. He actually went the distance. He finally went the distance. He got his rounds in. All right, that's what we want to see. What happens when he gets his rounds in? Can he go the distance? Will he lose his stamina? A lot of that got answered this weekend. So during the fight, if you watched it, he looked good. He looked real good this fight. The fight was 8 rounds. It lasted the full 8 rounds. He beat the dude up. The dude was a veteran. All right. He looked great. So, the only thing that I could really just say that he could try to improve a little bit, he really wasn't working out of the clinch. So anytime he got wrapped up or Nicholson was holding him, he just kind of stayed in the clinch. He didn't really work out. He didn't throw a lot of punches in it. You know what I mean? And that's not his fault. That's not his fault because he's not used to being out of the first round as far as the pro fights goes. He's used to getting rid of everybody within a matter of minutes, a matter of seconds. So that's just something he'll have to work on. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault. He's usually not clinched that much. At the beginning of the fight ends. You know what I'm saying? He's usually not used to getting a lot of rounds in. So going into fights, going into deep waters, being held, that's just something that, it hasn't happened a lot in his pro career yet. But other than that, he looked good. Now the dude he was fighting, Nicholson, he's not like a pushover, you know what I'm saying? He is a veteran. So he's like 28, he got like 23 wins, something like that. So he knew the ins and the outs, he knew how to survive, you know what I mean? Knows how to last. Didn't matter. Man got beat up the whole fight. Now, he didn't get rid of him, but he put him down a few times. Yeah, Burlanga put him down. When you watch that, you're like, damn, this man got power from the first round all the way to the last round. His power did not diminish. And he had some, decent stamina. It looked like he took a round off at the end, but other than that, he didn't get out of breath or nothing. He was throwing hard. That's the thing about Burlanga. And some of his punches, he lands some hard blows. It don't even look like he's throwing hard, like it's not intentional. He just got that much power. And he got power in both hands. Both hands, that's the thing about it. But yeah, he looked real good. He also proved he can take a punch. All right, he got a few flush shots landed on him, hard shots, and he ate them. Had no effect on him, you know what I mean? So he proved a lot this fight, man. Now, something else, Edgar Berlanga showed off his boxing IQ a bit, okay? Now see, we didn't get to see this previously because his fights ended too quick. But as the fight went on, you could see he was cutting off the ring very, very well. I mean, like, perfectly, all right? And he was applying pressure, but it was effective pressure. Because there's a difference between ineffective and effective pressure. You got ineffective pressure when guys are closing in too quickly and they smothering their own shots. Their shots aren't getting through and they just all over the place. He wasn't like that, all right? Everything he did was precise. So he does know how to box. He was boxing well. And another thing about Burlanga that we saw, although he has all this power, he wasn't just fighting like just wild haymakers and swinging crazy. He wasn't windmilling. He was picking his shots while he was cutting the ring off, and he was picking his shots well. He didn't really have any wasted punches, all right? So he didn't have any wasted punches, right? And that's something that I wanted to see too myself. Like going through rounds, does this dude, is he just gonna swing crazy? Is he just gonna continually just try to get rid of you with every punch nonstop? Or can he box effectively? And he proved that, you know. So all around, he looked good. One thing I did notice though, Timothy Bradley, man, you know, I done heard all kinds of comments about him being a terrible commentator. I ain't never really just noticed it myself. And I watch all the top ranked fights, but man, this fight, I did not understand what Bradley was talking about. I mean, it was terrible. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like Tim Bradley was literally saying some stuff that wasn't even happening. He was saying certain things are going on that weren't even occurring, like at that moment. Like he was saying, Berlanga's wearing red shoes and he's tap dancing and Burlanga just fell down. None of that happened. He didn't actually say that, I'm just playing, but I'm just making an example. I'm like, what is it like? Golly. Good thing they got Andre Ward on there commentating, because Timothy Bradley was all over the place, man. It was horrible. I don't know how he still got a job, but yeah. But yeah, man, so the only other thing I want to see with Burlanga, really, I want to see like, you know, how he deals with adversity, because he hadn't been through that yet. And Edgar Berlanga actually reminds me a lot of, it's gonna sound crazy, but if you follow Victor Ortiz in the beginning, when he first started getting airtime, I mean, when he had like almost no fights, before he was even like a top prospect, you know, Ortiz was getting rid of everybody. He kind of had like almost like a peekaboo stance, and he had power in both hands. He was getting rid of people in the first round quick, like everybody was getting knocked out by Victor Ortiz. This was like 2008. Yeah, it's like 2008, 2009. Yeah, man, it's like 13 years ago. It's like 08, 09. And Victor Ortiz was wiping people out, you know what I mean? But I wanted to see how he do once his competition, once the level kind of increased a little bit. And although he had physical strength, he had all that power, and he was strong. He was a big welter. He was a big welter. He come in there outweighing dudes by quite a bit. I mean, he was big for welterweight. But even though he had all that physical strength, once the competition level picked up a bit, we saw he didn't really have much mental strength. And that was in his fight with Maidana. And he was beating Maidana. If y'all remember, he put Maidana down like, he dropped Maidana like 5 times. Yeah, he was whooping his ass. He put him down like 4 or 5 times. And as soon as Maidana put him down one time, he quit. He quit. He had it right here, but he didn't have it right here. And that's what I want to see with Burlanga. Because when you go back to how Ortiz was doing, when he was at this stage in his career, he was knocking everybody out too. But as soon as he got in there with a guy that could hit him back just as hard as he was hitting them, and could take his punches and keep getting up off the ground and could put him down, yeah, he didn't know what to do. And you remember how he was talking in that interview at the end. He was like, I don't want to be stuttering when I'm old. I don't want to lose my memory or something like that. You know what I'm saying? He was young. He's young too, but I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just using Ortiz as an example. We've seen this before. He didn't have that many first round knockouts in a row, but he was knocking everybody out nonetheless. So yeah, that's what I want to see, man, because every single fighter is gonna face that point at one point in time. They're gonna face somebody that's either going to make or break them. They're gonna face somebody that's gonna hit them harder than they've been hit before. I mean, look at all your legends. Everybody's either like, everybody's lost. All the legends have lost. You feel me? Just about all of them. They've all had a fight that was real tough, where they had to step up and overcome that, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to see how Berlanga will do once his competition increases a little bit. But right now, he looks good, man. He looks sharp, got good ring IQ. He beat the hell out of Nicholson. He didn't get rid of him, but he dropped him a few times, and then at the end, he dropped him with like 15 seconds left. So that proves he can keep his power from the beginning all the way to the end of the fight. At the very end, he still retains all his power. He carries it through, and it's in both hands. He was hurting that man and rocking him with his jab. Yeah. So yeah, man, I was impressed. A lot of people didn't see this fight because there was a lot of other stuff going on. You know, I went to see Demon Slayer Saturday. That movie was off the chain. I have to make a whole nother channel to review that because that's not boxing related. But yeah, I appreciate you for watching, man. Yeah, make sure you subscribe, and I will be back.